Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Chelli, who is fighting Anthony Sims Jr. on February the 11th at Wembley Arena on Sky Sports. Zach, big announcement today. Congratulations. I personally didn't see this one coming. But yeah, just want to get your kind of not initial reaction because it's not really news to you. But how did this fight come about? What are your thoughts on this fight coming about?
Literally, they messaged me 2 days ago or 3 days ago saying, Zach, do you want to fight? I said yes. And they came to me the next day, say, Zach, this guy called Anthony Sims Jr. I never heard of him before. Maybe I should have. I just said, yeah, I'll take it. I don't say no to it. I just want to fight because it really annoyed me when LeRon Richard pulled out. I wanted to fight LeRon Richards, right? And he was top 5 in the world. So the way I see it is, I'll fight anyone because if I'm willing to go for a guy who's top 5 in the world, anyone below that, I'll take.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing you've been consistent with in your career is the fact that you will genuinely fight anyone. A lot of fighters say, I'll fight anyone. I know with you, you genuinely will. You don't, I know you don't care. It's just a case of who's around. Anthony Sims Jr., I know he's fought in the UK a couple of times beforehand, fought on Matchroom shows. I think he fought last month just before Christmas in the States. Are you really like not heard of this guy at all? Were you not aware of him up until now?
Honestly, I wasn't. I didn't really hear nothing about him because I mainly focus on boxers in the UK. That was I was mainly focused on the top 5 in UK, or top 10 in UK to fight. And then when they said they actually did offer a few top 5 or top 10 in UK to fight me, and they turned it down. I'm not going to say any names, but top 10, let's just say previous British champions or previous IBF international champions have turned down to fight me. So then I was like, okay, give me someone from abroad because they don't want it. So then they went looking for abroad and they found this guy. So, and he said it would be an interesting fight.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I know you touched on the LeRon Richards situation. You were due to fight him a few weeks ago. What are your thoughts looking back on that? I know he pulled out. I think it was a couple of hours before the fight. Do you want to revisit that? Because I know that was a big fight for you. Or do you just?
I don't think I think I just spoke about it once on an interview. But yeah, I woke up in the morning, was at breakfast, all happy, and then I had they come up to me and said, listen, he's pulled out. Apparently, he's hurt his head or whatnot. He's got a bump on his head. I was like, okay, if he really does a bump. Then I went back and looked at the footage on the weigh-in, and he's always had like a lump here, and that's just part of his skull. So it's just normal. So I sent that to them, and there's then they came out another excuse. He's hurt his neck or something. So I think it's all lies. And then this trainer came and spoke to me and said, yeah, he actually did hurt himself. Okay, fair enough. He said, we'll do it back. Run it back. We'll do it maybe January. I said, January? He said, no, okay, February. He said, okay, we'll do it in February. Anyway, and then last week I get news that he's not ready for February even. He'll do it for March or April. So I'm like, listen, I'm not going to waste my time with him. I want to fight in January or February. Please get me a fight. And that's how they got me this American dude.
Yeah, fair enough. So I think it's interesting how things pan out. What are you? I feel like you're I follow you on social media. It feels like you stay in shape. You're always in the gym. What's camp like now? Have you just did you start a training camp knowing you were going to be fighting in February, or what's your preparation like at the moment?
Since November, they said to me, okay, Zach, we'll try to get you out in January or February. Unfortunately, January wasn't possible. So there was okay, February definitely. So I've just been ticking over, keeping myself in shape. And now 4 weeks till the fight, I'm step up a level, getting more intense until I'm ready for the fight. So the usual stuff what I usually do.
Absolutely. I think one thing about Anthony Sims, he's likes to talk a lot. I'm sure I think your personalities will mix quite well when it comes to fight week events.
A lot of people have been messaging me saying that, so I'm actually looking forward to it because I've never really had anyone else that speaks well or whatnot that brings the flame. He calls himself a magician, so I like to see what type of magic he does. Of course, magic is haram, so I'll have to stop his illusions.
Okay, looking forward to it. I know that I was at your last two fights against Jermaine Brown and Jack Kilgannon. I think it's fair to say those two guys, they're not really into trash talking or upping themselves too much. But if you're at a press conference and someone's saying what they plan to do to you, how they're going to beat you, what's your reaction going to be if he's getting in your face at the way? And what are you going to do? Because I do think that I don't think he's going to sit there and say nothing personally.
Yeah. No, I actually find that fun. I'm actually looking forward to it because I've never had that. I've been watching all the YouTubers do it, It seems entertaining. So we'll bring it to professional boxing.
Yeah, yeah, exciting. All right, Zach, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just want to ask, what does 2023 look like for you? Now, I feel like 2022, you kind of fought on Sky twice. Would have kind of
Mm.
a lot more people know your name now. But what does 2023 look like for you? How many times do you want to get out? What do you want to achieve this year?
Hopefully 3 or 4 times. I'd like to, at least go for like a world title eliminator. I mean, I believe it's possible. If I'm fighting this guy, I believe this guy we should be fighting for a title, an intercontinental title, and that'll get me up in the rankings. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll be like in a position for at least a world title eliminator. I know Canelo has all the titles, and he's going to probably keep them for a couple of years unless he fights Boltov, a Russian dude again at 168. I don't know what's going to happen. Then you got the Caleb and the Bendivias fight, and that's another world title eliminator. So I don't know what's going on. So at least to be in a position where I'm able to fight for the world title eliminator, that's what I'd like to be in.
Yeah, no, would be a fantastic achievement. If you can do it this year. Final question from me is that this could be a mistake. Are you in a classroom at the moment?
No, I'm not in the classroom. I'm in an office at the moment, but yeah,
In
I'm
an
just about to
office.
leave the office, and you can tell, yeah.
So what's happened? Because I remember like last year you were working in a school
Mm.
when kind of you weren't when you at certain points of the year. What are you doing now outside of boxing?
Just boxing full time, really. At the moment, I'm just here. I'm at a friend's office, so I've just come to see a friend.
Okay.
To do better place to do my meeting at. In my Zoom interview, better to do it out than at home or in a gym. So I've just come to see my friends for an
Mm.
office meeting. My
Yeah.
typical accountants and all that. So.
Yeah. And I really wasn't sure. So just like final question, really, what's it like knowing that? Because it was always like a bit of like a novelty knowing that you had quite a serious full-time job whilst boxing on Sky as well. What's it like knowing that you can kind of put those things to one side now and fully focus on boxing?
Yeah, honestly, it's great because working as a supply teacher, so that was like the worst of the worst. Not just know a supply teacher, so I had to come in schools and how kids are. Oh, we got supply, because they think they can mess around. I used to be all happy about it, and then and now I realize why teachers become grumpy. It's because of the kids. I ended up becoming a grumpy teacher. Or was a cross face, and when you have a cross face on, they take you more seriously. So that's the only reason I had to do it. But I was an enjoyable teacher. They all were happy with me around. But yeah, I'd finish like around 4 or 3:30. I'd get home and about like 5 o'clock, I'd be knackered, and then I'd have to start my like 4 hour training session to put all in one. So yeah, it was very tiring. So I'm so happy now it's all done, so I can relax properly and train properly. So I'm actually training harder. The muscles are getting bigger. I'm feeling more energetic. So yeah, it does really affect a lot.
Good times. All right, Zach. Let you crack on. I know you're a busy guy. I know you got this big fight coming up next month. But thank you very much for your time. Really looking forward to this one. Live on Sky Sports against Anthony Sims Jr. I will speak to you soon. Okay.
Speak to you soon. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Zach. Bye bye.